Richard Bruce here, reporting from Los Angeles again, suburb Woodland Hills. So I am in the midst of the COVID-19 nightmare, and I'm feeling a little bit better today, which is why I'm able to do this report. But I am still a little bit foggy in my thinking, I noticed, and I did make a few errors in my last video. Pardon me, I said here in Arizona. Actually, I meant here in the United States, Arizona, because I'm actually in Los Angeles. So let me report what the symptoms are basically on day 4 of full realization that I had it. As I mentioned, I noticed these symptoms starting up on March 10th with a slight sore throat, which I attributed to possibly normal causes during the winter. However, I realized fully on the 20th that I had something more than that, with a tightening in my chest, which grew into a slight pain on the 21st, and then on the 22nd developed into a more significant pain and shortness of breath. And then on the 23rd, yesterday, the 22nd was also starting to get pretty bad with shortness of breath. And yesterday, when I woke up in the morning, the conditions were such that I had felt that I should go to the hospital, because I have been talking with some people, and they said that you should get it checked out and find out what happened. I'll get to that in a second, but I just want to report that my current symptoms and the symptoms that were significantly plaguing me were tightness, soreness in my chest, so a pain in both of my lungs, especially my right lung, a pounding headache, but the fever I actually don't have a thermometer, but by feeling my forehead, it's warmer than usual, but not so much so. I did get a little bit of chills and hot flashes, but nothing too bad. And the pain in my lungs wasn't too bad. The main thing is that my whole body is just racked with pain. I have pain in my back. I have pain in my joints. My whole system feels weakened. My digestive system went south. Could hardly even keep down a little bit of water, because I start getting sick, especially if I lie down, which I feel much better when I lie down and I'm lying flat. General, I can tell you that yesterday, today is the 24th, so the 23rd, I was sick to the point of crying for the pain, just sitting there going, and very, very serious. Luckily, I'm feeling a little bit better today. I understand that it comes in waves, but I can see where people are concerned about this, as far as if somebody of weaker health or elderly get this, it can certainly lead to very serious problems. I did also notice like a delirium and strange dreams, very vivid dreams actually. I even had one where I was flying around, like I do sometimes in my dream. I may have reported, and you may know that I said that for a while I haven't had any real significant dreams. Like it's almost like the dream state leaves me alone or something, like all the demons got freaked out and bailed from my dream state and not giving me any more weird dreams. But in any case, very dull, nothing very memorable at all for like years. Occasionally a memorable dream, but just kind of scattered, fragmented little pieces, almost like I'm sitting, thinking, fantasizing, and yet I'm asleep, just like little thoughts, little scenarios going by. Anyway, so the symptoms that I currently still have today on the 24th is like a slight pain in both lungs and shortness of breath, like a slight delirium, fever. My whole body is racked with pain. One of the big problems I had is that apparently I got a neck crook, which is like your neck and muscles and the muscles in my back get really messed up from sitting at the computer too long, just in one fixed position. I have to remember to get up and stretch and turn around, but sometimes I'll forget and I'll get hypnotized. And I think at the same time that hit me, I also got, since my body was fighting the flu-like symptoms, it wasn't able to repair that, so it just continued and really bad. Like every time, it's still, I still have it bad right now. And when I get up or lie down, or I can't bend over, but anytime I put strain on those muscles, it really hurts. And so that was another negative. But yesterday was extremely bad, and now I get to the ambulance thing, which is significant for a couple of reasons. One, so I called 911, and because I do not have a doctor at this time. My insurance dropped me for being homeless, because what happens is when you get the Obamacare, or whatever that care is in Medicare, Medi-Cal, what happens is they assign to you a primary doctor, and if you don't assign yourself a doctor, and there's plenty to choose from and everything, but what happens is they won't send it to a P.O. box, and I had nowhere to go. So one of the problems that you encounter if you're homeless is if you don't have a permanent address, you find the stuff out. You find out all kinds of stuff you never knew when you don't have a permanent address. So yeah, it was pretty nasty. And I understand that it goes in waves. So you get one thing, and then you get better, and then you get the next thing. And basically what I can say is, like, it's a really bad flu and cold at the same time, and my joints feel like somebody took a hammer to them. And I've been very like lethargic, just very low in energy, just like that. And the fact that I have enough energy to do this is amazing, considering yesterday when all day and into the night it was just racked with pain and loss of energy, and just basically just sitting there going, I couldn't have got up like this and talked. I would have been like so weak, just going, okay, this is it. So it's a significant difference today. Also, I got a little bit of my appetite back. Yesterday I could only drink like just little sips of water and tiny nibbles of food, and then I have to stay upright, because if I lay down I will get my stomach turning into bile, which is seems to be a problem. I seem to have that problem with my digestive system, and I noticed that it grows steadily worse, and when there's any problem I get that. So basically right now, as I mentioned, the main things are a loss of energy, and I haven't had that significant of a cough, but just a pain in my lungs and shortness of breath and just very low energy. And I'll update any new developments. There probably will be. I don't think that I've had a fever. Now let me describe what happened with the ambulance. So I called them, and they came, and I went down to meet them, and they took some tests. And they were all wearing masks and everything, but they didn't give me a coronavirus test. And they ran my vitals. And what happened was, when they ran my vitals, was that I wasn't showing a fever or a lack of lung capacity, the main things I think that they were looking for. And they say, well, because of that, then there's really no reason to bring you into the emergency room, because you'll just be waiting there, and there's no reason, and it'd be pretty harsh. And I said, okay, so the best thing to do is to wait here. And they said, yeah. So, but one interesting thing that one of the gentlemen said, and by the way, I'm a little bit delirious at that time too, and now, so forgive me if my memory isn't as crisp and clear and cohesive as it usually is, although it's already a little bit lacking cohesion. But anyway, what this guy said was that, what was interesting is that he said, what we're not seeing. And I don't remember exactly what was attached with that, but I'm pretty sure it had to do with coronavirus cases. So apparently those guys anyway were not seeing a lot of people coming down with it. But I hear from other people, somebody was emailing me saying that, yeah, in their small town, or maybe it was in the message system, they were saying in their small town the medical system is going totally chaotic right now. So it's mixed reports, I don't know. But in any case, I want to address just one thing. Not that I care too much about this, but a lot of people are saying that it's 5G or that it's directed energy weapons. And I know someone who is certain that what's actually happening is there's no virus. It's the heavy metal particulates that we breathe in. And they pointed out that in Wuhan and in Italy, in northern Italy, are very polluted areas where people may have a lot of those heavy metal particulates in their system, and that then they could use the directed energy weapon or whatever they use to, or 5G or whatever, the cell phone towers, whatever, to direct it at select targets and cause a lot of these problems. I would say this about that. I do think it's possible. It certainly is possible that could actually be what's happening. My opinion is it's a virus because of what we're experiencing worldwide. And as I said from the Dr. COTTRELL, actually is the pronunciation, COTTRELL, Dr. Paul COTTRELL, and he takes apart some of the aspects of the DNA, including an HIV insert and some other things, and that it can mutate and ping pong, which is why you can get a reoccurrence, and some people are getting a reoccurrence. So we should keep up protection measures absolutely continuously from now on. We're in a post-COVID-19 world. So I would say from now on. Also, one of my recommendations is, since we're not shaking hands here anymore, I know because I've ran into a couple of people even before I got sick. Everybody's not shaking hands. I would say let's use the Asian way. They're smart. Bow, and the ties go like this. And but I think just a simple, you don't have to do the the 3 stages of bowing. I mean, just a simple and they're smart. That's probably why they do that, because it's a way of showing respect without risk of contamination for you and your family. So I think it's a good idea. That's what I would do. But in any case, we should definitely, in all points, lead more careful lives. In my case, I'm already pretty careful about. I even keep a little canister of alcohol in my pocket at all times. Anyway, as a homeless man going into Starbucks every day, I always cleaned everything with alcohol, the toilet seat, and everything every single day. So I got used to those kind of hygienic measures. But and I hit my hands, especially after I've grabbed handles and stuff. But now I'm going to be even more careful. Once again, I don't know how I got it. I think it could have just been even just breathing it in the air, or maybe it was a cup of coffee or a table I sat at, or maybe just going to the market or handling money. I mean, who knows? It's hard to pinpoint it, and you could waste a lot of time considering what it is. But I would say that given the severity of this, like I said, yesterday was a very hard day. I would take every precaution you can to avoid it. And definitely, if you get it and there's someone in your house that's elderly or their health might be a risk, I would say, quarantine or do something, very, very stringent to try to avoid any sort of problem, wearing masks, avoiding unnecessary contact, staying out, keeping them in a separate room or something like that. Definitely. With YouTube blocking my channel and unsubscribing people and limiting my subscriber base, it's weird how my number will stay almost static, like the same for a long period of time once they started to fully cut me off at around 69,000 subscribers. But even with all that, I know that I've made a good YouTube channel with the outpouring of support and nice words from many people around the world thanking me for my work, and that they're praying for me. Friends, I really appreciate all of your prayers and all your nice words, and really appreciate, I'm sorry that the comment section is such a problem. I try to explain this a million times, but it's hard to get through to people. But I was heavily attacked by Satan through the comment section, using shills to discredit and say things against and turn people away. And plus, there's a lot of people that are interested in the paranormal subject in addition to that, which are just, they just don't have coherency, and it makes it look like you have extreme nutcases like flat earth people that love this kind of thing and want to cozy up to me and be friends. And I can't have that in the comment section. Otherwise, it looks like a lunatic channel above. It's already looking like a lunatic channel, and so I try to maintain credibility. But in any case, I appreciate all the great comments I get from a lot of people. many people around the world like you that are watching. I really appreciate all your support, and I wish I didn't have to regulate the comment section so much, and I could just listen to everybody and so forth. But I think some of you in the know, if you've ever posted anything truth or you've been dealing with this issue for a while, you know what happens. You can really get attacked, and also just people saying all kinds of disinformation and stuff. And they may even be well-meaning, but when I try to have as few people misled as possible, because you can get a narrative going. Like, for instance, I think the flat Earth thing was a kind of like a nonsense virus. That was a nonsense virus that spread around, and people just went crazy for it. And it spreads, and the more people it spreads, the more people talk about it, the more people give it energy, and so forth and so on. And it's just really kind of an unfortunate thing. So that's another reason. So yeah, I really do appreciate everybody. There's a lot of nice people, a lot of intelligent people, a lot of great tips, a lot of great things, and I really appreciate it. And I will keep everyone updated about what is happening with me, and I'll let you know any new or interesting information that I find. For now, I do actually believe it is in fact a virus. I could be wrong, but that's what it feels like. And it feels like my body got hit with a severe virus, a severe flu. And it could be, I think, as long as 30 days before I'm fully recovered, or more even, because it kind of goes up and it goes down, goes up, so you don't know what was hitting you. Because the day before yesterday, I wasn't so bad, but I had already been experiencing significant symptoms, and then yesterday, I just get hit like a railroad, just crashed really bad. So yeah, and so I would say definitely this once again. You may hear a lot of numbers. You may hear they're not reporting new cases in China, but they don't shut down the entire United States of America. All non-necessary businesses, everybody stay at home, and pay those people to stay at home, because it's smaller than the flu. Use your common sense. No way. This is huge economic damage, which I just saw something on Trump saying that they got to shore that up, because that damage is going to be worse than and a lot more people are going to die because of that, and I agree, than actually the actual virus or whatever it is that's afflicting us. So, on the spiritual side, one thing I will say for this illness, and it has been pretty severe, is that it has given me a chance to reflect. It has given me an opportunity to think on my ways. And one thing that I will go ahead and confess right here on YouTube is that I have had a problem with anger. And I think it's a spirit. I don't know whether it's like anger and or bitterness, but it has really afflicted me. It's like what I thought of it as is a life package. You get like a life package of a challenge, and basically you've got it with you the whole time, and the challenge is to overcome it. And I've realized that in a lot of cases in my life, and with my family, and with people I've interacted with, and in my thoughts, I've given too much leeway, too much use of my spirit to these evil spirits giving me these evil thoughts. And I've noticed it, of course. I've been well aware of it, but I think I've given into it too much. And I realized that when you're faced with mortality, it gives you a renewed opportunity to rethink your life, and that's the silver lining for me. And I decided to talk with some people that I hadn't spoken with, and I want to also just apologize to anybody that I may have been rude to, or not as caring and compassionate as I could be. I think it's a real challenge for me, and I apologize, and I would like to work harder to overcome it. There's people that I've held negative feelings for, and it's just a waste of time, and I've known it's a waste of time. And I even had a friend of mine tell me a while back, he said, I don't know what I would do if I was you with your negative judgmentality. And I agree, but it's just something that's with you. It's like, it's not illogical. You can't just like realize that, okay, I see the problem, and stop it. It's like a spirit that's with you. It affects your thinking. And the Lord will deliver us as he will deliver us. And these are all the kinds of things that we're here to experience. So this is it. This is the challenge. You ask yourself, why does God have these pains here for us to experience? Well, this is an opportunity. Nothing else. We know from the Scripture that a servant will not turn without a certain amount of pain involved in the rebuke. It can't be an effective rebuke without some pain involved. So we can expect this kind of thing and realize that it's part of the journey where proofs of instruction are the way of life. Proverbs 6:23 tells us. And so we know this is it, and I thank my God for giving me this opportunity to grow and become a better person. And so that's my silver lining. And once again, if you have not come to Jesus Christ and sought that salvation, I would urgently recommend that you do so. Now is a good time, especially when things are scary, and it's a time to reflect and realize what all this is about. And the answer is in the name Jesus Christ, and saying a prayer to him to be saved, because God sent him into the world to die so that we might live. And you can say a simple prayer to God like this to be saved. He is listening at all times. Doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, what you've done. Anytime you want, you can get on your knees and you can say a simple prayer just like this. Father in heaven, please save me by the work of your Son Jesus on the cross, and show me your pure words in the authorized King James Bible.